In the vast tapestry of prophetic narratives, few stories captivate the human soul like the mysterious encounter between Prophet Musa, Moses, peace be upon him, and the enigmatic Khidr, peace be upon him, as revealed in Surah Al-Kahf, verses 60 to 82 of the Holy Quran. This is not just a tale of travel, it is a profound journey into divine wisdom, patience, and the limits of human intellect. The story begins with Prophet Musa, already a towering figure in divine history, chosen by Allah to confront Pharaoh, split the sea, and receive the Torah on Mount Sinai, standing before his people and declaring, "I am the most knowledgeable among you." Allah, in his infinite wisdom, gently corrects him. A divine voice reveals, "No, there is a servant of mine at the junction of the two seas who has been granted knowledge from us." Musa, humble yet eager, asks, "How can I meet him?" Allah instructs him, "Take a fish in a basket. When the fish disappears, that is the place." Accompanied by his young companion, Yusha ibn Nun, Joshua, Musa embarks on a long and arduous journey. They travel by land and sea, crossing deserts and coastlines, until they reach Majma al-Bahrain, the symbolic or literal meeting point of two great bodies of water. Scholars debate its location. Some say the Strait of Gibraltar, others the Gulf of Aqaba, and some interpret it metaphorically as the confluence of prophetic and esoteric knowledge. Regardless, the journey is symbolic. Musa, the prophet of law and revelation, is about to meet a figure who operates beyond apparent logic. As they rest near the shore, the fish, placed in a basket as a divine sign, suddenly comes to life and leaps into the sea, leaving a trail like a tunnel in the water. Yusha witnesses this miracle, but forgets to inform Musa until much later. When he finally remembers, Musa exclaims, "That is the sign we were seeking." They retrace their steps, exhausted but determined. At that very spot, seated upon a rock, cloaked in green, is a man of serene countenance and otherworldly presence, Khidr, the Green One, named so because wherever he sat, the earth beneath him would turn lush and verdant. He is not a prophet in the conventional sense to some scholars, but a wali, a friend of Allah, endowed with ilm ladunni, knowledge directly from God, beyond books or logic. Musa approaches with utmost respect. "May I follow you so that you may teach me from the wisdom you have been granted?" Khidr's response is immediate and cautionary. "You will not be able to have patience with me. How can you bear with that which you cannot encompass in knowledge?" But Musa, driven by sincere thirst for truth, promises, "You will find me patient by Allah's will, and I will not disobey you." Khidr agrees, but with one condition: "Do not question me until I myself explain." Thus begins one of the most profound spiritual apprenticeships in religious history, a journey that will challenge the very foundation of human reasoning.
The journey now takes the two holy men aboard a boat belonging to poor fishermen. As they sail, Khidr suddenly picks up an axe and begins damaging the vessel, making a hole in its hull. Water gushes in. The fishermen, unaware of the passengers' identities, would surely be devastated. Musa, unable to contain himself, cries out, "Have you made a hole in it to drown its people? You have done a grave thing." Khidr calmly reminds him, "Did I not tell you that you would not be able to have patience with me?" Musa apologizes. "Do not blame me for what I forgot. Do not make my affair difficult." The first test of patience has failed. They continue on foot. In a village, they encounter a playful young boy. Without warning, Khidr walks up to him and strikes him fatally. The boy collapses, lifeless. Musa is horrified. Have you killed a pure soul without any crime? You have committed a terrible act. Again, Khidr warns, Did I not say you could not bear with me? Musa pleads, If I ask you about anything after this, do not keep me as your companion. The second covenant of silence is broken. Finally, they enter a town where the inhabitants are cold and inhospitable. They refuse food and shelter. As they walk, the duo notices a wall on the verge of collapse near an old house. Without being asked, without payment, Khidr begins rebuilding it, straightening it, reinforcing it with care. Musa, exhausted and confused, says, If you wished, you could have taken wages for it. This is the third and final breach. Khidr stops, turns to Musa, and declares, This is the parting between me and you. But before I go, I will explain the meaning of what you could not bear with patience. Each act appears unjust, irrational, even cruel on the surface, yet this is the essence of the story. Divine wisdom operates on a plane far beyond human perception. The boat, the boy, the wall, three seemingly destructive or pointless actions are about to be revealed as acts of profound mercy, protection, and justice. What Musa sees as harm, Khidr executes as salvation. The stage is set for the unveiling of hidden truths, teaching humanity that not all that appears evil is evil, and not all that seems meaningless is without purpose. This is the core of taqdir, divine decree, and hikmah, wisdom, that Allah's plan unfolds in ways the human mind cannot always decode in the moment. Khidr now explains, one by one, the divine rationale behind his actions. First, the boat. As for the ship, it belonged to poor people working at sea. A tyrant king was ahead, seizing every good vessel by force. I damaged it so that it would appear faulty and thus be spared. When the king passed, the fishermen repaired it and continued their livelihood. What seemed like sabotage was actually protection. A small, intentional flaw saved an entire family from ruin. Second, the boy. He was a disbeliever by nature, destined to grow into a tyrant who would oppress his righteous parents. We feared he would overwhelm them with rebellion and disbelief. So Allah wished to replace him with a child better in purity and closer in affection to them. The killing was not murder, it was preemptive mercy. Allah, in His infinite knowledge, saw the child's future, a life of corruption that would break the hearts of believing parents. By taking him in childhood, Allah granted the parents a better child and saved the boy from a fate of eternal loss. Third, the wall. Beneath it was a treasure belonging to two orphan boys in the city. Their father had been a righteous man. Your Lord intended that they reach maturity and extract their treasure, a mercy from your Lord. I did not do it of my own accord. The wall, left to collapse, would have exposed the gold and silver to thieves. By rebuilding it for free, Khidr ensured the orphans, now without a protector, would one day claim their rightful inheritance. Even the villagers' hostility was part of the divine plan. Had they been kind, Khidr might have accepted payment, but Allah wanted the act to be pure charity. In each case, Khidr emphasizes, I did not do it by my own command. He was merely the instrument of Allah's will. This is ilm laduni in action, knowledge that sees the unseen, the future, the consequences beyond the horizon. Musa, the prophet of Sharia, meets the master of Hakika. Inner truth. Where Musa sees rules, Khidr sees outcomes. Where Musa sees the present, Khidr sees the eternal. This encounter teaches that divine wisdom often works in paradoxes. Destruction preserves, death grants life, and generosity is given where it is least expected. The story ends with Khidr departing, leaving Musa in silent reflection.
Though Musa failed the test of patience, his sincerity is never in doubt. Allah honors him by immortalizing this journey in the Quran, not to shame him, but to teach every believer a timeless truth. You have been granted only a little knowledge. No matter how learned, pious, or prophetic one may be, Allah's wisdom surpasses all. This narrative is recited every Friday in Surah Al-Kahf as a shield against the trials of Dajjal and the chaos of the end times. Why? Because it trains the heart in sabr, patience, and tawakkul, trust in Allah. Just as Musa could not understand Khidr's actions in the moment, we often face events, loss, delay, injustice that seem meaningless or cruel. A job lost, a loved one taken, a dream shattered. Yet behind every trial there may be a hidden mercy we cannot see. This is more than history. It is a manual for life. Khidr and Musa teach us to surrender our limited vision to the one who sees all, and in that surrender lies peace.